The afternoon sun slanted through the lace curtains of Evelyn Harper's cozy living room, casting delicate shadows across the oak table where a half-finished jigsaw puzzle sprawled like a colorful, chaotic map. Evelyn, a sprightly 78-year-old widow with silver hair pinned in a loose bun, adjusted her glasses and frowned at the puzzle. It was supposed to be a proud rooster, feathers blazing in reds and golds, but half the pieces were missing. She tapped a piece against her chin, muttering, "Now, where's that blasted tail feather gone?" Evelyn loved puzzles. They were her quiet companions since her husband George passed 5 years ago. Every afternoon she'd sit with a cup of chamomile tea, piecing together landscapes or animals, losing herself in the satisfying click of cardboard edges. But this rooster was trouble. She'd bought it at the thrift shop last week, $1 for the box, thinking it was a steal. The clerk, a sweet teenager with braces, had assured her it was complete. Liar, Evelyn chuckled to herself, though she didn't really mean it. She wasn't one to hold grudges. She leaned back in her chair, her floral cardigan slipping off one shoulder, and sighed. "Maybe I'm losing my touch," she said aloud, her voice soft but tinged with mischief. The puzzle was only 500 pieces, child's play compared to the 2,000-piece castle she'd conquered last month. But without those missing pieces, the rooster looked more like a plucked chicken. She shuffled through the box again, hoping she'd overlooked something, but no luck. Just a pile of mismatched edges and a glaring gap where the rooster's head should be. That's when the doorbell chimed, a cheerful ding-dong that made Evelyn smile. She knew that ring. Only one person in Willow Creek leaned on the bell like it was a piano key. "Evelyn Harper, open this door before I drink all your coffee," came a voice from the porch, brassy and warm. Evelyn shuffled to the door, her slippers scuffing the hardwood, and swung it open to reveal her best friend, Mabel Dorsey. Mabel, 76 and proud of every wrinkle, stood there in a bright purple tracksuit, her short white hair sticking up like she'd just run through a windstorm. In one hand, she held 2 steaming to-go cups from Brewed Awakening, the local coffee shop. In the other, a paper bag that smelled suspiciously like fresh pie. "Well, don't just stand there gawking," Mabel said, brushing past Evelyn. "I've got caffeine and calories, and I'm not afraid to use them." Evelyn laughed, closing the door. "Mabel, you're gonna give me a heart attack one of these days." "Pfft, you're tougher than a $2 steak," Mabel shot back, setting the cups and bag on the table. She squinted at the puzzle. "What in tarnation is this? A rooster with no head? Looks like my ex-husband after a bottle of bourbon." Evelyn snorted, easing back into her chair. "It's supposed to be a rooster. Half the pieces are missing. I've been at it all afternoon, and I'm about ready to toss it out the window." Mabel plopped into the seat across from her, pushing a coffee toward Evelyn. "Hazelnut latte, your favorite. Now, don't go throwing puzzles just yet. We'll figure this out." She peeked into the paper bag and pulled out 2 slices of apple pie, the crust golden and flaky. "Brought reinforcements. Pie makes everything better." Evelyn took a sip of her latte, the warmth spreading through her chest. "You're a saint, Mabel, but I'm telling you this puzzle's cursed. I checked the box twice. No head, no tail, no nothing." Mabel's eyes narrowed, a glint of mischief sparkling in them. "Cursed, you say? Or sabotaged?" She leaned forward, her voice dropping to a conspiratorial whisper. "Think about it, Evie. Someone's out there stealing puzzle pieces, laughing as we old biddies lose our minds." Evelyn burst out laughing, nearly spilling her coffee. "Sabotaged? Mabel, you've been watching too many of those detective shows. Who'd sabotage a thrift store puzzle?" Mabel waved a forkful of pie. "Oh, I've got theories. Maybe it's that cranky Mr. Thompson from down the street. He's got those sneaky paws, or the mailman. He's always lingering by your mailbox, probably rifling through your puzzles when you're not looking. Evelyn shook her head, grinning. You're ridiculous. The mailman's 20 years old. He's not sneaking into thrift shops to steal rooster tails. Fine, fine, Mabel said, taking a dramatic bite of pie. But I'm keeping my eye on him. She pointed her fork at the puzzle. So, what's the plan? We giving up, or we fighting this foul beast? Evelyn's smile softened. Mabel had a way of turning any frustration into an adventure. They'd been friends for 50 years, ever since they were young mothers pushing strollers in the park, trading stories of sleepless nights and diaper disasters. Back then, they'd pulled pranks, hiding plastic spiders in each other's purses, sneaking whoopee cushions onto church pews. Life had slowed down since, but Mabel still brought that spark of youth to every moment. Let's fight, Evelyn said, setting her coffee down with a determined nod. But we're gonna need more than pie. Got any spare puzzle pieces in that tracksuit of yours? Mabel gasped, clutching her chest. You think I'd hold out on you? My pockets are full of lint and dreams, not cardboard. She leaned over the puzzle, studying it like a general planning a battle. Okay, here's the deal. We work with what we've got. Maybe this rooster's just avant-garde, a minimalist masterpiece. Evelyn giggled, picking up a piece with a splash of red. Minimalist, huh? More like a hot mess. She slotted the piece into place, completing a bit of the rooster's wing. You know, this reminds me of that time we tried to bake a cake for the church fair. Remember, we forgot the sugar, and it tasted like a hockey puck. Mabel threw her head back, cackling. Oh, Lord, and we tried to pass it off as rustic. Poor Pastor Jenkins nearly chipped a tooth. She grabbed a puzzle piece, turning it over in her fingers. We were troublemakers, weren't we? The best kind, Evelyn said, her eyes crinkling. She reached for another piece, her fingers brushing the table where George's old pipe used to sit. A pang hit her chest, soft but sharp. George had loved her puzzles, always sneaking a piece into place when she wasn't looking, then pretending he hadn't. She missed that. Mabel caught the shift in her friend's expression. You okay, Evie? Evelyn nodded, swallowing the lump in her throat. Just thinking about George, he'd have loved this mess. Probably would have hidden the missing pieces just to drive me nuts. Mabel reached across the table, squeezing Evelyn's hand. He was a rascal, that one. Bet he's up there now, chuckling at us. She paused, then grinned. You know what we need. A break. Let's take this puzzle outside. Fresh air'll do us good. Evelyn raised an eyebrow. Outside? Mabel, it's a puzzle, not a picnic. Trust me, Mabel said, already standing. Grab the box. We're gonna solve this rooster or die trying. They shuffled onto Evelyn's front porch, puzzle pieces stuffed into the box, coffee cups in hand. The autumn air was crisp, carrying the scent of fallen leaves and distant wood smoke. Neighbors waved as they passed. Mrs. Larson with her yappy terrier, young Timmy, on his bike. Willow Creek was a small town, the kind where everyone knew your name and your business, whether you liked it or not. Mabel spread the puzzle pieces on the porch table, a rickety thing Evelyn had painted blue years ago. All right, Rooster, she said, cracking her knuckles. You're going down. She picked up a piece, then froze. Wait a minute. Evie, look at this. Evelyn leaned over. The piece in Mabel's hand didn't match the rooster's colors. It was a deep green, part of a tree branch. That's not from this puzzle, Evelyn said, frowning. She rummaged through the box and pulled out another mismatch, a piece of blue sky. What in the world? Mabel's eyes widened. I told you, sabotage. Someone's mixed up your puzzle with another one. Evelyn laughed so hard she had to sit down. Oh, Mabel, It's not sabotage, it's just a thrift store mix-up. Probably some kid dumped 2 puzzles in one box. But Mabel was already on a roll. Or, she said, pointing a finger, it's a conspiracy. Maybe the thrift shop's running a secret puzzle racket. They sell you half a rooster, half a forest, and laugh all the way to the bank. Evelyn wiped tears from her eyes, still giggling. A puzzle racket? Mabel, you're gonna be the death of me. They spent the next hour sorting pieces, sipping coffee, and trading stories. Mabel recounted the time they'd snuck into the high school gym to hang streamers for a prank only to get caught by the janitor. Evelyn shared how she and George once danced in the rain during a summer storm, laughing like teenagers. The puzzle sat half forgotten, but the gaps didn't seem to matter anymore. It wasn't about the rooster, it was about this moment, the two of them together, piecing together memories instead of cardboard. As the sun dipped lower, casting a golden glow over the porch, Evelyn picked up a piece and slotted it into place. It fit perfectly, a splash of gold for the rooster's comb. "Look at that," she said softly. "We're getting somewhere." Mabel grinned, raising her coffee cup. "To us, Evie, the best puzzle solvers in Willow Creek." Evelyn clinked her cup against Mabel's. "To us. And to half-finished roosters." They laughed, the sound carrying across the quiet street. The puzzle wasn't done, and maybe it never would be, but that was okay. Some things, Evelyn thought, were better left a little incomplete, leaving the room for stories to fill the gaps.